Hey everybody, what's up? Jesse here, representing Vanessa from the Murfreesboro music scene with our featured band of the week. We are here with Bent Vent. We've got Tom, Craig, Mike in the back here, and Ray. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thank you for coming out.
All right. So you guys are classic rock from Nashville,
Yes,
Tennessee, right?
yes.
Terrific. We got a few questions that we're going to run by you guys today.
All right.
So anybody who wants to field the questions, you guys can just kind of decide who would be best suited for that. So first of all, we always like to know, what year the band formed, and is everybody that's in the band now original members, or has lineups changed?
The band
Mike is probably the only original one
right.
left.
Okay.
How long
The
do
band,
we
the
have?
band in this incarnation, 5 years.
Okay.
Okay, and then Mike and I started playing with another guitar player 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
And we recruited Craig probably 2 years after that. And we lost the guitar player, and we brought Ray in 5 years ago.
Okay. So this lineup as it is right now, been 5 years.
Right.
5 years running.
Right.
Very cool. When we listen to Bent Vent, there's a lot of classic rock, like we just mentioned. We hear a lot of influences from The Doors, some Deep Purple,
Right.
etc. Things along those lines. Really cool stuff. Besides just some of those obvious maybe ones that people would pick up on right off the bat, what are some other of your biggest influences, musically speaking?
Well, I know Craig's going to say Rush and Dream
Every
Theater.
day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah, there's a lot of prog stuff going on.
Yeah, we try and get into a little bit of some proggy stuff on occasion. Some of our stuff is just straight up rock, and some of it delves into a little more of the proggy aspects of things, like you say, Deep Purple, Yes.
Yeah.
Some of those influences.
Terrific. Now, Tom, you play bass, and Craig,
Drummer.
you're a drummer, so Rush, you're a big, I'm sure.
Neil
Peart.
Yep.
That I can see you can't really see it back here, but this kit right here is definitely paying some homage to Neil. It's insane. Mike, guitar, and keys. Very cool.
So hopefully you hear the Deep Purple influence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who does most of the writing for the band, and how do you write songs? Is it music, then lyrics, or lyrics? How do you guys process?
It's a mixture. Mike writes a lot of riffs, and we'll pull those together, play around with them, and kind of catalog things and assemble songs from some of that. And sometimes we'll just, get an idea like All About Me. We had gotten words from a friend of ours, Steve Wineberry, and we liked it, and I kind of wrote the rhythm behind that, and we built that song kind of from the ground up.
All About Me.
Words first, yeah.
Okay. So
Craig writes a lot of words, and some of the ones recently, Great Divide,
Two Arms.
Two Arms.
Back today.
Yeah. Those are all lyrics first.
Okay. So that's your preferred method of just coming up with lyrics.
Yeah, I like to write. So there's a few there's a book of them floating around somewhere, but we have an issue sometimes in the band where Mike comes in with riffs, and when we work on them, we have a tendency, if we don't get words to them fast enough, they become instrumentals because they become so hard to play.
Yeah.
That trying to fit
How do
a
you
vocal
structure
melody in there, and then
Yeah.
Tom having to play the bass line he comes up with and sing on top of it, it can become problematic. So we tend to write about one and one instrumental to a vocal
And Tom,
song. So
are you vocals as well?
Yes.
Yes. So bass and vocals.
Yep.
Cool.
And Craig sings backup as well. So.
Wow. So you're drummer and
I try. Yeah.
drummer.
Yeah.
I always find that
Yeah.
pretty impressive when
Yeah, I
pull
tried
that
to
off.
do backup vocals. It's something probably about a year or two. I've been, and it's
pushes the boundaries a little bit for you.
yeah, it becomes problematic at times, but it's fun. So.
Cool. Well, I'm sure that the band itself has been together for, like you said, 5 years, longer if you consider other members
Right.
previously and stuff. But everybody here, I'm sure, has got quite a background with playing instruments, right? I mean, you're all
Oh, yeah.
musicians that have been around. You know what? The way music is bought and sold nowadays has changed from back in the day where it was cassette tapes and even CDs. Now we got people downloading music. So what do you guys think about that versus actually buying physical copies? How do you think that the music industry has changed because of this, in good and bad ways?
It doesn't really affect us because we're advanced hobbyists, maybe.
Advanced hobbyists?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
we enjoy what we do, but we're not trying to
In it for the
live
sales, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Right,
Right.
we're happy to give it away, but I think overall it's been a bad effect for people
Yeah.
trying to make a living.
Yeah.
And it's gone from touring to support an album to the opposite now, where
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
money's in the touring and not in the album.
Right. Unless you're like really, really big bands that can sell albums like crazy right off the bat.
So when we record every rehearsal, and occasionally I'll kind of go through some of that and pick a few songs to kind of dial in, recording wise.
Interesting.
That's the stuff that's out on the web, on Reverb and Facebook.
Is that those are the only platforms you got your music on right now? Is
Right now,
Reverb
yeah.
Nation?
Yeah, we're starting to do a little more recording the way you might do it in a studio, for drums and bass first, and then
Yeah.
keys, and guitar.
Lay it all together
Lay it
later
out,
afterwards. Yeah.
So we're kind of working towards that and see if we can maybe get a little better quality
I like the raw element, of
live.
just
Yeah.
like live recordings and stuff like that's always pretty cool. But with like proggy type stuff, I mean that crisp
Right.
after work to it is always a positive thing too. So that's pretty cool. What do you guys think are some crucial things needed for local music scenes to thrive?
Well, bands and venues are two of the three pieces, and the third, I guess, is the fans. We used to play a lot at Daisy Dukes.
I remember that place. That was
last
awesome.
year
I
we
love that
played
place.
5 times there, and unfortunately they shut down.
Yeah.
The Block, and some of the others that have kind of closed
Mhm.
up. There's some new places starting to open up to having bands. So we're kind of trying to explore some of that.
Right.
Start beating the bushes a little more and see if we can get out a little more. It's been kind of sparse this year for us, but on the other hand, just get together and do what we do, and when we can play out.
Yeah, you're not trying to like make a show every month or every weekend or
No.
anything. You just kind of want to just do it when you feel like it, sort of.
Yeah.
Last year, I think we tried to do once every 2 months.
Yeah.
Once every 2 months. Mhm.
One of the problems that we have is, our footprint's a little bit larger than sorry.
Yeah.
So stages are
Yeah.
a little more
Yeah, it's a
scarce
little
for
crowded
us
up there with that
than-
kind of kid and
than,
a set of keys and stuff. Yeah.
some place.
I've seen some bands fill the stage. Like I've seen at Daisy Dukes. It's not like a big stage, but I've seen bands with I think 6 or 7 members, keys included.
Didn't you say you had like?
Oh yeah,
one
we
punk
went
band
to see
friend
a
or
friend of
something?
mine is in Jones World. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
The funk band.
Yeah.
They had,
Todd Zilla.
I think, yeah,
Yeah.
a friend of mine plays sax for him, and they had 13 people on that stage. The horn section had to line up by height, behind each other.
So
But
there's
it
not a
was-
whole lot
it
of
was
moving
still a
around.
fun night there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a couple go-go dancers, but they stood on the bass bins there.
Wow, that's crazy. 13 people.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Daisy Dukes? Anybody that's watching this now knows the size we're talking about. It's crowded up there with 5 or 6 people now. Double that.
Right.
Yeah. I have a particular question about one of your songs, "Wild Hair."
Uh-huh.
It's an instrumental piece. We were just talking about
Yeah.
how it's, how we went over that process of how that can happen. So what does that song particular mean, and what was the inspiration behind that? Was there anything particular behind writing that song?
Well, it's kind of
left it as an instrumental
It
piece.
predates me, so.
Yeah. One of the older ones.
yeah. Mike, it's kind of a three-part song. There's three basic distinct parts to that song. The first part, I'm not sure where that came from. I think that may have just been you and me.
What, that intro riff? Yeah.
The intro.
I was just messing around one day and Dave liked it, so I just kept doing it.
And then the main part of the song, the third part, was Mike brought the fundamental riff, and we kind of built on it.
Groundwork, so to speak.
And the middle part used to be flute part.
Yeah.
And you never knew what Dave was going to play. You know, Somewhere Over the Rainbow or whatever on flute.
That's right.
But we kind of ended up with the Bore by Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, there's. And then, of course, instantly you hear a flute in rock or anything kind of like, that's like the instant.
that's kind of where it came from.
Now, the spelling of it is obviously not the correct. It's not like wild hair as like a crazy piece of fabric from your head. It's wild, like spelled like Zach Wild, and hair with an E at the end.
Yeah.
Was there a purpose or a reason for spelling it that way, or?
Just felt like it.
Yeah.
It's the wild hair. You can do what you want.
Right.
And that's kind of the way we are. We do what we want and write what we want, and people seem to like it.
So without words to the song, it speaks to how the band writes music and plays music.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty close, yeah.
interesting.
I'd say that's
No one in this band has ever been told we play too many notes, so that's never a problem in this band. So
Well, we don't tell each other that.
that's true.
Other people may tell
We
us
don't
that.
care if other people.
Right, yeah, 'cause you're just doing what you want to do, right? They like it. They like it.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't.
right.
Well, at least you guys do. That's kind of what matters, I think. Last question I had was, you got any shining moments, any career highlights for Bent Vent, whether it's a show you played or any kind of recognition you've received, or
Well, this is probably it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
This is definitely a high
This is
point.
awesome.
Yeah. First official interview.
Yeah.
That's right.
well, that's great.
Interviewed for Murfreesboro, but we can't get a gig in Murfreesboro.
We're gonna have to help. We're gonna have to work on that. We know some people. There's a couple. There's not a lot anymore. There are some decent venues that are still grinding.
The
out
Burrow's
there.
still there, and Autograph.
Yep. I know Wall Street does some things every now and then, but I don't really.
That's
know
got
too.
a nasty stairway.
Yeah. Yes, it does. I've never played there. I don't play music, but I've helped load in bands for that, and I was like, wow, this really sucks. For load-ins and stuff.
Right.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, guys. Do you have any last thing we always like to allow the bands to do is plug any upcoming shows, where they can find you guys on social media or
Sure.
merch, anything that's out there for you guys. So
Well, we've got a show this Thursday, day after tomorrow, at Springwater. We're playing with Man Behind the Curtain and Donkey Show, and it's a good lineup. It should be a great show. Looking forward to that.
So Springwater in Nashville, everybody.
Yeah, over
right
by
there by
Centennial
Centennial Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
And merch we usually bring with us. We got T-shirts and stickers and the usual
Cool.
stuff. And,
BentVent.com.
BentVent.com.
We'll
We got a website.
That'll bring you to the Reverb Nation page.
And
Sweet.
we're on
So,
Facebook
just
as well.
redirect.
You just do a search for Bent Vent.
And they can buy your music on Reverb Nation or at your
It's all
shows.
free.
Or
It's all free.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, there's no excuse
Yes.
for all you cheap bastards out there that don't want to buy a $1 song or even
Yeah.
a $3 seat, EP or anything. Just go. They're telling you, go out there and just download it. Right? Just get it. Just have
There
it.
you go.
Just enjoy it.
Wasn't there an album where it said "Steal this album" or something?
There was. It said steal it. Who was
System Up
that?
and Down,
It
maybe.
was it
Yeah,
System
maybe.
of a Yeah, I think you're right. It was like it looked like it was written in marker.
Right.
and
White
Scotch
paper,
tape,
yeah,
white paper
yeah.
on there. Yeah. It was one of those, man. That's cool. Well, guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much for taking the time
Thank
to
you
speak
for
with us.
coming out.
Everybody
Appreciate it.
come out Thursday night, Springwater Supper Club there behind or in front of Centennial Park in Nashville. Come out here and see Bent Vent, Man Behind the Curtain, and Donkey Show. So thank you guys once again. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.